Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Era of Content YouTube channel. It's been a few days, everybody, so welcome back. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I hope you're all doing well. So, today we are talking about Moon Knight Episode 5. First off, I'll start with non-spoiler thoughts, and then get into some spoiler words here. So, overall, this was a very interesting episode, a very different episode, very similar to what you might have seen from one of the final episodes of WandaVision. If I won't get into too much spoilers here, we really seeing, I believe, some major character development with Mark and Steven, and it was just a really very well told episode of very much a long story of one's life. And that's all I really want to say before getting into spoilers here. I was just really impressed with how they were able to show show Mark's pain and struggles throughout his childhood and throughout his adult life as well. We of course we see why he struggles, or what really happened to him that made him struggle as a child. He went into that cave with his brother, and he wasn't able to save his brother, which was very unfortunate. And we see the pain that his mother shared was taken out on young Mark. And a really interesting concept was when Mark was able to form his own identity, the Stephen Grant, the Dr. Stephen Grant that he saw through those videos that he would see, in a way that would allow for him to view his mother and his own childhood, I guess, as a whole, as something positive, because he struggled so much due to the abuse that he had. So it was just, a very emotional episode, and I think it was told very well. I mentioned in my last video about Moon Knight that Mark wasn't necessarily like a personal favorite of mine. Like, I really like Steven's personality. However, after seeing this episode, I've learned to really care for Mark, and I saw how much of his struggle formed who he was, and how much how much he has been through, and it made me really just admire who Mark was, I guess, in a way, because he really he's been through so much, and it made me think, wow, good for you for keep on keeping on. So it was really really an impressive episode on that front. Very shocking too, seeing Steven thrown over the ship, and then finally the scales evening out that you can see on your screen there. I thought this was really interesting. I think, Steven finally was able to have the courage, because obviously he was sort of the one that could just be happy, and not the one that would have to fight and go through all of the trauma or the abuse and whatnot. He realized through all this journey through Mark's life that he too can be courageous. And I think although we're seeing Steven act like that, I think we're really also seeing Mark as a whole realize that, he can be one person in a way, maybe. We're seeing, finally the scales even out, so it shows that Mark has found some type of balance. So although Steven is gone physically in terms of within this dimension, having, two different Oscar Isaacs present, I think, of course, Steven is still within Mark Spector, and instead I think he'll just be a more whole or a more balanced person. So I thought that was a really interesting way for them to show what I think they were going for there. So we do see Steven sort of reach that, or excuse me, we see Mark see that he reaches that afterlife stage, the golden fields or whatnot. So very interesting, and it makes me think, what is going to happen in this final episode? The rumor is the episode's relatively short. I think it was in the 40 minutes, if that's correct. I'm not sure if it is, but that is interesting. That, I really don't know where they're going to go with this. I've seen some of the quick 30-second teasers on Twitter and stuff that show where this, some little scenes of the last episode. We see some fighting going on. I don't know what's going to happen. my personal predictions, or let's just say more my wants for the show, for this final episode. I feel like we need to see Amit in some form, sort of like how we've seen Khonshu and Taweret. I believe that's how you pronounce the hippo goddess's name. Um, I believe, I think it would be a really good thing to see Amit in whatever form Amit, looks to be within this universe. So I think that's going to be interesting. Maybe Arthur finally lets out Amit, or he's able to, and then Mark is able to stop him. I don't know. I'm curious. So I'm also curious, like we saw Steven go overboard. Is he going to no longer come back at all? That's what I would assume, because he froze. But it's very hard to tell within this show, like what is real versus not real. I do not know. So that's very exciting. I'd like to see something with Amit, some closure on ending that, but at least seeing the strength or what he is capable of, because they've really talked about him for almost, I think, every episode so far. That would be something I want to see. Also, excuse me, I think it's going to be a good thing to, well, hopefully show in a post-credit scene or a final scene what is next for Moon Knight, because this series hasn't been a personal favorite of mine. I've enjoyed it overall, but I'm really excited to see in the future what Mark Spector or what Moon Knight can do as a superhero of his own. Right now he's just sort of finding his origins here, getting the main story down for what his origins were. But I do feel like there's so many possibilities for his future here. So I really do hope there is something like that in the finale. I hope this isn't, obviously we're always expecting more and more projects with these characters in the future. You never know. Some might just be a one-off kind of character. I don't think this is going to be the case. The only reason, I sort of worry about that is because I believe Oscar Isaac has only signed on for this one project. So maybe he just wanted to tell one story, and that's that. But, to be honest, I really don't think that's the case. There's so much they could do with, whether he crosses over with Doctor Strange, or whether he, does a Midnight Suns kind of thing, or, any type of team up. You have Dane Whitman, you have Blade, you have, there's a potential Werewolf by Night series coming out, or a one-off sort of special during Halloween. So there's so many different characters and sort of the supernatural or sort of scary side of the MCU that are coming, that I really think Moon Knight would fit well within that. So I do think there's going to be something. I really do hope we get some sort of glimpse at where we could see Moon Knight again, because I do like the character. I think it's a really cool character. I think the Mark Spector, Stephen Grant story has been interesting, but I do hope, and I've seen some comments on this online, the past 2 episodes, there really hasn't been much Moon Knight costume in action, obviously, because Khonshu is sort of gone right now, and Stephen, or Grant is, or Mark is sort of in this dimension of, I'm not sure if he's died or what's going on. So we haven't really seen Moon Knight in action. I'd love to see more of that, and I do think we will in this final episode, and hopefully, more in future MCU projects. I really believe we will, because it's a cool character, absolutely. So that's my thoughts on the episode. I'm looking forward to the finale this week, and we have Doctor Strange coming out this week too now, a week from today, or excuse me, a week from, it was this past Friday, so we're only a few days away. I'll be seeing it sometime on next weekend, and then I'll get a review out. But I have a video about Doctor Strange coming out tomorrow as well. Excited for that very much. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a good one.